The working week in the month of September 2023, and how exciting and how so our time flies when you have an amazing time at work. Today is Monday, the 25th day in the month of September 2023, and exactly a few minutes gone past the hour over 9 a.m. on your super duper amazing radio dial, Voice of the People 96.1 FM Abuja, and this is a spot beat. It comes your way every Mondays through Fridays by 9:05 a.m. bright and early. We get around to talk sport, and straight away we get into the newspaper headline segment because the time is of the essence. Quickly now, looking at the first newspaper with us is a Sporting Sun, and the Sporting Sun has this to say concerning a Nigerian player, Wilfred Ndidi, and it reads: New Leicester City role delights Ndidi. Arteta, Spurs goals affected us emotionally. Arsenal 2, Tottenham 2. Kane breaks a 59-year-old record with first hat-trick since Bayern move. Chelsea near. Aston Villa 1, Villa Stones Blues. How Khalifa Mbappe deserves Ballon d'Or. Rashford crushes his £700,000 Rolls Royce after Burnley win. The Brownie targets Club World Cup 4 City returns. Boniface matches Allen's feet. Dessers look more on score sheets, talking about Super Eagles players that dominated over the weekend, with the likes of Boniface getting a brace in that one, and other players like Dessers, who was the decider in his club as they defeated their opponent over the weekend. And still continuing on the newspaper headline, we are looking at a Sporting Sun, and this one says 2026 World Cup African qualifiers get November 13th date. And in the world of boxing, Hands rules as Anthony Joshua Joyce fight. Oh wow, that is one news that Anthony Joshua is actually not looking for in terms of his fight. Alright, quickly now we move over to the next newspaper, and we will be looking at Complete Sport. And this one says, talking about the biggest news from Complete Sport. Newcastle makes a Premier League history after thrashing Sheffield United 8-0. Broja needs to build its confidence. Pochettino. Boniface reveals keys to Bayern Leverkusen impressive form. Napoli coach Garcia breaks Oseni after penalty miss. Napoli coach Garcia backs Oseni, I beg your pardon, after penalty miss. Alright, let's still looking at some other stories from Complete Sports. This one says, talking about what went over the weekend. Why Arsenal are favourite for EPL title this season. Neville. Ken creates Bundesliga record after bagging hat-trick versus Bochum. Ramsdale's time at Arsenal coming to an end. Premier League legend speaks. And still looking at all the news, this one says La Liga, Sadiq in action in Real Sociedad, Getafe 7-goal thriller. Eboué, Empoli lose a 5th consecutive league games after defeat to Inter. Ligue 1, Simon scores, bags assist in Nantes, Lorient 8-goal thriller. Serie A, Chukwueze bench as Milan and Barin against Verona. Oh, Chukwueze relegated to the bench on this one. Alright, let's look at the next newspaper we have as the time is far going. This one is live from Complete Sport. And Complete Sport has this to say: Bundesliga, secrets of my brilliant start at Leverkusen. Boniface. Why I rejected PSG in show of Milan fate. This one is from the player Chukwueze. Mbappe's injury nothing serious, says coach. Serie A, Angry Napoli fans mocks ADL, call for better approach. Lukaku strikes not enough as Roma held at draw. Serie A, Lukaku fans inspiring me. Roma fans inspiring me. Lukaku, I beg your pardon for that mix-up. And now from the EPL, this one says, don't compare me with Tuchel, says Pochettino. Salah breaks Premier League record in a Liverpool win. And youth games, a kid scandal rocks Ekiti team camp. I have news concerning this news that broke the internet yesterday, talking about the Ekiti contingents that are currently in our Southern Delta State. We hear that the kit that they wore was we are gotten from the Bendan Select Market under the bridge. The commissioner of sport just had to go rally and get a substandard kit for the team. And when he was summoned, the only thing he was saying was that he didn't steal any money. Who asked you if you stole money or not? Things are seriously unfolding in the youth games. Alright, we move to the next newspaper now, and this one is from a Vanguard newspaper, looking at the biggest sports stories there. And this one says a Nigerian UFC star Usman defeats Collier in Vegas. Nigeria pays lip service to sport development. Igali. This is huge indeed. Talking about talking with nothing to show. Oseni misses penalty in Napoli's goalless draw with Bologna. Morata strikes twice as Atletico Madrid beats rivals Real Madrid in La Liga derby. Mbappe comes off hot as a PSG demolishes Marseille. Newcastle thrashes Sheffield United 8-0. Boniface grabs brace as Bayer Leverkusen 6 Heidenheim. Chelsea's misery continues as Pochettino's men fell 1-0 to Aston Villa. Sean Star shines as Tottenham rescues derby draw at Arsenal. And finally from Vanguard, this one says Vinicius drops out of Madrid squad for Atletico derby. Of course, he was not there in that game over the weekend. And finally, from the home scene, let's look at a Punch newspaper. This time, we will be heading straight to the sport page. And this one says Joshua punches like Mike Tyson. Edo wins first cycling gold, bronze at NYG. Winning not aim of youth games, says Gali. And coach protests as Kaduna humiliates Delta 5-0 at NYG. That's the National Youth Games, and insist on a knee amid facial screening controversy. Nigeria players abroad, rain of goals. And this one says Stamford Bridge falls again as Chelsea lose 1-0 to Villa. Alright, finally now let's touch down a BBC newspaper and check out the biggest stories from the BBC as we look at the big sports stories from that newspaper. And this one says, in the world of rugby, Wales hammered Australia to seal quarter-finals sport. For the lovers of rugby, that's for you. Outfought and outrun, Hockenham bottom rules a record 8-0 defeat. Talking about the game between Newcastle United and Sheffield United. And in the world of Formula 1, Verstappen shrugs off doubters with crushing statement win. The lone away fan who led his club to victory. Dominant Dolphins scored 70 to demolish Denver. Talking about American sport. And finally in the rugby, Jones remains committed to Australian role. Morata scores twice as Atletico Madrid beat rivals Real Madrid. Alright, that's all from the newspaper segment. Let's quickly head into the world of sport as it went down over the weekend. And beginning from Monastir, Tunisia, where Nigeria defeated Angola to finish on podium of the African Women's Youth Handball Championship. Nigeria finished on the podium at the African Women's Youth Handball Championship in Monastir, Tunisia, after defeating Angola 28-24 in the third place match played on Sunday. Having lost the semi-final game against Egypt, the national under-18 women handball team knew they needed to play with their hearts out to finish as the third best team in the championship, and they started like a house on fire, and the determination which ensured they won the first half 12-7. The Angolans, who were on one of the favorites to win the competition, came back smoking in the second half. Coach Shitu Adeumi Bolas Tutor's team held strong to win the match 28-24 and get the bronze medal, as well as taking a major scarf of a big team in African women handball. Right away from that, let's touch down in the world of Paralympic as the Nigerian emerged the overall champion of the 2023 ITTF African Para Championships, which ended on Saturday, September 23rd in Giza, Egypt. The 3 days tournament had also like Egypt, Algeria, Nigeria, Mauritius, Cameroon, South Africa, Kenya, and Cote d'Ivoire competing in the singles, doubles and mixed doubles event. Nigeria carted home 12 gold medals to dethrone Egypt as the new para table tennis champions in Africa. The Nigerians asserted themselves as the new heavyweights in the continental para table tennis by dominating the singles event to pick up most of the tickets to the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. From the 14 tickets available for the Paralympic Games, Nigeria picked 9, while Egypt settled for 5 in the singles event. However, the host team dominated the doubles and mixed doubles event with 5 gold medals, with Nigeria picked 2. In the overall medal table, Nigeria picked 12 gold, while Egypt won 10 to surrender the dominance to the West African nations. Congratulations to Nigeria, because it was a very, very dominating and crushing win over the weekend. Alright, let's continue now, but this time let's move over to Bayelsa State as it's going down, talking about the the National Youth Games that are currently going on. Alright, still continuing on the show that we are currently giving you. That's the spot beat that is currently on your MIC on your speakers. Let's move over now to Delta State as we hear that in the award of the NYG, that is the National Youth Games, Edo State yesterday showed their dominance as they won their first gold medal, courtesy of the cyclist Divine Ogbe, who beat a strong competition from Atenda Damola Igmat from Kwara to win the gold medal, while her teammate Osariati Godwin settled for bronze. The emotional Ogbe dedicated her victory to her teammate Godwin and her coaches who helped her during the training segment, and this is what she said: "I thought I was not going to make it. I want to say thank you to my teammates Osariati and her coaches. The contest was not easy." Alright, away from that, let's delve over now into the foreign scene as it went down yesterday in faraway Emirates as it ended to all where Bukayo Saka was indeed, he won the Man of the Man award, but it was controversial. Indeed, where so many sport pundits as to have fought the award given to him. Alright, let's continue on that one as it was Arsenal who started the game on fire, but Tottenham had to rally around to score that one. But then Ian Wright has urged Mikel Arteta to field the striker Gabriel Jesus in Arsenal starting lineup as the Gunners surrendered a 2-1 win to end the game at 2-2. Sonny Jimenez got a brace in that game, and James Madison was a brace assist to his name, which he added. The game ended at 2-0 after Romero was adjudged to have handled the ball in the second half. Where Bukayo Saka stepped up and converted the spot kicker to make it 2-1, but it was Ange Postecoglou's men who had the final say, and it ended 2-all. While far away in at Stamford Bridge, the misery for Chelsea continued as Chelsea Paul started the Premiership. Saw the likes of Ole Watkins strike powered Aston Villa to a 1-0 win against 10-man Blues. The Lords means Arsenal are now Chelsea are now 3 straight Premier League games without a win or a goal. It's the first time Villa have beaten Chelsea in back-to-back league games in 30 years, while Mauricio Pochettino's sides have had their worst start to a top flight season after the opening 6 games of season 1978-1979 season. Misery, and more misery for Chelsea. Abuja, I will be back later in the evening to let you know how all the games went down, especially in the Madrid derby, where the coach of Real Madrid, Coach Ancelotti, came out to accept the blame for his team defeat. They were defeated by 3-1. But their fierce rival Barcelona had to rally around from 2 goals down and scored 3 goals in 9 minutes. It was a winning ways for the likes of Manchester United and Manchester City, as both Manchester club won their various games. Abuja, join me at 5 p.m. later in the evening as a Spot Lounge will be coming hot and smoky. Until then, keep listening to a Voice of the People 96.1 FM. Abuja, up next is business around town. Don't touch the dial.